Hello, my fabulous artists. So I am here with my butterfly, and you know, we learned about the butterfly effect of kindness, where when we do something kind, the person that it's like we send kindness waves out into the world, and the person that we do something kind to, they'll do something kind, then that person will do something kind, and it spreads out. So we created these gorgeous butterflies. You drew your butterfly in pencil, you traced over it with Sharpie, and then we took an extra step to put this black glue, and we traced that black glue over all of our lines, and that's actually going to create a barrier for our watercolors. Today we are using liquid watercolors. I have my liquid watercolors in these white ice cube trays, and I just want you to know about these liquid watercolors. If you get a tray where some of it is dried up, that is no problem. We can just add a little bit of water with our paintbrush on that, and it becomes liquid again, and it's no problem. I want to talk to you for just a second about the paintbrushes that we're going to be using. Now, I grabbed these two. I actually need to get one more, the Baby Bear paintbrush. This paintbrush right here is very, very good. We call this our teenager brush. Very good for the watercolors. I also like to use this one, and notice how these are smaller. We are not going to be using big paintbrushes on these because we've got a lot of little areas to fill in. When I fill in the tiniest of circles and tiniest of areas, all you want to use that smallest paintbrush, the Baby Bear. So today I'm going to start with this one. Whenever you use watercolor, you need your watercolors, you need a cup of water filled halfway, and you need a paintbrush. With watercolors, we need water to make those paints work. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush into the water. I'm going to then dip into a color. Now, these beautiful butterflies, the coloring is totally up to you, how you want to what colors you want to paint these. I do want to remind you, butterflies are what's called symmetrical, which means it's the same on both sides. So when you paint these butterflies, whatever you do on one side, you're going to want to do on the other side. So let me just show you. You might notice I haven't even dipped into my paint to get more paint. I can paint pretty long with just the same amount of paint that I have on my paintbrush. Notice I did purple here, same on this side, purple here, same on this side. I'm now going to dip my paintbrush in water, and let me just show you a technique. With just water, if I paint over the area I just painted and I kind of blend that color up, do you notice how it's getting lighter and it creates this really beautiful effect? I love that. So let me just show you. So notice I started with dark purple here. I did the purple there. Now I'm just using water from my paintbrush to fill that area in. You might also be noticing that I am keeping my color paint right inside that shape, that black glue that we put down created. And that's creating a barrier. Notice a barrier for my watercolor. Oh, I think that's gorgeous. I'm going to clean my paintbrush off, get a little water on it. I'm going to dip into another color. And like I said, whatever I do on one side, I'm going to do on the other side. I'm using that same technique of putting the watercolor color down. And then I'm going to do one more here. And then I'll go back with some water to blend that in. I just think it makes a really nice effect. Now, I want to show you another watercolor technique that you can experiment with, and I think this one's pretty cool. The way this one works is you get paint on your paintbrush, and let me just show you, or not paint, water on your paintbrush. And notice I'm just putting water down there. You can't see anything because there's just water. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into colors, and I'm just going to touch the water that I had put on that area. I'm just going to touch it, and do you notice how the color goes and then it's spreading out? I'm going to wash my paintbrush off. I'm going to get another color to experiment with. Let's see. I think I'm going to try this one. I'm just going to touch, like making a dot. And notice, because the water was there, it's kind of filling that area and it's blending in together. It makes almost like a tie-dye effect, don't you think? I think that's pretty cool. That's called wet in wet. And the reason is because I'm putting water down that makes that wet, and then I am painting on top of it. So that's wet on wet. I can also mix colors together. So let's say I'm gonna go ahead and paint this orange. I'm painting the whole thing in. Remember, whatever I do on one side, I'm definitely going to want to do on the other. And let's say I want to mix another color in. All I have to do is get the paint on my paintbrush, and then I can paint right on top of that other color, and then the two colors mix together. Something else that kind of helps them mix together is if I just get some water on my paintbrush, I can go back in and kind of get those wet just with water, and that helps them kind of mix together. You can make some really neat paints. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited for you to get started. I think your butterflies are going to be beautiful. We are just painting the butterfly with our liquid watercolors. Have a great time today.